Okay, so here we go with part five, which is on the wheelchair cushions, different options around wheelchair cushions, and different supports for wheelchairs. So let's just look at the different kinds of cushions first. Something you'll commonly hear referred to as a roho cushion. Basically what it is, it's an air cushion. So if you look at these little sacks here, they're all filled with air, and you literally have to pump it up with air and maintain it. But it's really great for your skin. It just seems to reduce incidents of skin breakdown, bed sores, that sort of stuff. They have these for bed mattresses too, but they're like top of the line for wheelchair cushions. Think about someone that's sitting in a chair all day long. They have the Roho cushion. It can be pretty good for protecting their skin. Kind of not so great along the scale is a foam cushion. Most standard wheelchairs come with like a foam cushion. Don't think there's much of a foam cushion on any kind of cushion on the ones we're going to be using in the lab. But the foam, not as great for skin breakdown, definitely better than nothing at all. Not as great for other things too. We'll kind of look at the pros and cons in a second. A lot cheaper than the Roho air cushion, that's for sure. And then we have gel cushions, which can be even better than the Roho. Great for skin breakdown. And they are literally filled with gel. This kind of shows you how they're kind of broken down. And they're also great for preventing skin breakdown. So things to think about. Is it like this woman, it kind of reminds me of Blanche a little bit, in her wheelchair all day long? Older, vulnerable skin? So you're thinking, okay, I wonder if I have a gel cushion or a Roho cushion to protect her skin. Or is it like this guy? Let's say he's down in this chair a lot. He's in and out a lot. Higher level spinal cord guy. Maybe you could get around with a foam cushion, maybe not. Think about Duska. She wasn't in the chair very long and she was on her way. But then when she was in the chair, she was in there for long periods. So you have to kind of think of the pros and cons of this as you're deciding which kind of cushion do you want for your wheelchair for your particular client. Here, this is really what you need to use to make your decisions, and think about final exam questions we built around this slide here, right here. The positive for the foam, it's low cost, it's light, low maintenance. Negative, it's unstable, breaks down, not optimal for skin, retains heat, can get very, very hot. I think somebody's sitting on a cushion all day long, can get really hot. Heat leads to sweating and breakdown. Less contour, very flat. The gel, stable, low maintenance, good pressure relief, helps with more pelvic control, conducts heat away from the skin. So unlike the foam cushion, it doesn't heat up so much. It's expensive, it's heavy, it may leak. They could break down a leak if you're using it long term. The Roho, the positive, the air cushion, exceptional skin relief. This is probably the top of the line of skin relief. They have adjustable firmness. You can adjust the air depending on the person's preference, needs. Negatives, again, it's very expensive. Got to make sure your insurance pays for it. High maintenance, the leaks, the puncture, you have to keep filling up with air. Less stable. So if you're kind of perched on this cushion and you're not too stable anyway, may not be for you versus the gel cushion. Supports. Lateral supports, trunk, core supports can be huge for a wheelchair. Think of Arnold. Little trunk control. He had a lot of lateral supports. He would just be flopping all over the place if he didn't have that. Blanche, one side, very, very weak. You're going to read a story next week, I think, about a woman named Stacy. She had amputations, and she was just very, very, generally speaking, because of kidney issues, she needed, ideally, I would think, lateral supports. Here's a more advanced, kind of harder version of the lateral trunk supports. There's different variations on this. Again, check out these links. If you're thinking about this for your client, for your wheelchair assignment, I just check these links out. They can kind of give you a good starting point to kind of finding the stuff that you need. Chest straps, again, more support for your chest, for the trunk. Different kinds of wedges and kind of cushions. The pommel, these are kind of for keeping somebody in a wheelchair without using a restraint like a seat belt. It's keeping them from sliding out. If they have really poor control in their lower body and they can't control it, if they're confused, it'll keep them from sliding out, ending up on the floor and falling all the time. This same kind of deal, slopes downward, harder to get out of because of that slope, but it'll keep them in their chair, keep their butt back in the chair, give them good positioning, reduce skin breakdown. Something to think about if you have a client that has a lot of skin breakdown kind of issues. Here's the seat belts. Restraints is a big issue you got to think about. You can't use these in hospitals and nursing homes. There's certain guidelines when you can, criteria, but to consider a restraint, kind of holding somebody back if somebody's confused or they have no use of their hands and they can't get out of the wheelchair. So you have to kind of be careful about these, but these can be invaluable if somebody that's always getting up from their wheelchair and falling repeatedly and hurting themselves. Footrests, we talked about footrests. These are just the footrest straps. If they have poor control of their legs, always getting in the way, this guy just strapped him down. 2 different kinds of straps, holding our feet in, that sort of thing. Anti-tip bars, that's what these are right here. Most chairs have them standard, so it doesn't tip over backwards. That's kind of a safety fall prevention kind of feature if your client needs that. And there's just all kinds of accessories and options. If you have the money, you can usually go there. This is the Sip and Puff. I remember I talked about this is what Arnold's dream was. He probably has one of these things now. He's probably, as we speak, it's hunting season or close to it. He's probably out there trying to get his deer off these. Just let me know where you are so I can kind of stay away. But it just mounts right on the chair, and he's controlling it with his mouth, firing the gun. This goes right onto a beach. When you go onto a beach, they have chairs that can go hiking with. This is kind of a all-wheel kind of thing. Different kind of things to carry things on your wheelchair, very commonly. Somebody's going back to work, they're going to be out and about. You want to think about some kind of pouch or something to hang on to their stuff as they're going about. This is what's coming up, the homework assignments and the quiz. And that is that for this week.